Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Valrico here, and today we're going to be reviewing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This video will contain spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers to the game, just exit out of this video right now. Alright, so with that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about the game. I played the first two Tomb Raider games. The first Tomb Raider is probably going to be my favorite, along with a lot of other people. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider was the worst, and this new Tomb Raider is the second best. It is the runner-up. I enjoyed it throughout the game. I like the environment. I don't like snow games. I just don't. The snow is trash because it's just like there's no detail. You can't really see any graphics. It's just a bunch of. It's just like you're staring at a white screen. So I never liked any of the. I didn't like the snow. I just didn't like it. I thought it was trash. I didn't think the game was trash. I thought it was just mediocre. But when it comes to this game, I like the environment, the jungle aspect, swimming through caves, all that good stuff. And I don't think this game was phenomenal. It was an average game as well. But the story and the gameplay, well, the gameplay was a little bit clunky. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the story and the environment is where I think this game shines, and also all the tombs that you can raid and stuff like that. I think that this game is the second best Tomb Raider that they've put out, and I think this is the end of, Lara Croft becoming the Tomb Raider. Like, these are prequels to her becoming the Tomb Raider or whatever. So we'll see where the game goes from here. But anyways, let's just talk about what we came to talk about, which is this game. So let's start with the story. The story was entertaining. I give it a 8. Nah, I give it a 7.5. Entertaining, fun boss fight at the end. My only critique about the story is there was times where it got a little bit too slow, and I could see where people would just stop playing the game because there was a little bit too much climbing and not enough cutscenes and action and shooting. And I mean, that kind of ties in with the gameplay, but story-wise, if you didn't do any of the tombs or anything like that and you just went through the game, there wasn't enough action. There was just a lot of walking, solving puzzles, maybe a little bit shooting, walking, solving puzzles, a little bit more shooting. It was one of those. And I just felt like the pacing was a little bit off. They should have had a little bit more action. But the story was entertaining. Dominguez was a good villain. Some of the other characters were cool as well. I can't remember the names of the chick that's like the queen of Paititi. I don't remember her name. But she was cool as well. Her son was cool. All the characters were fine. I didn't have a problem with any of the characters. I didn't have a problem with any of the talking or anything. I like the way that they write the story where, there was one point where Laura's getting attacked by this one dude with a gun, and she's struggling. She's not just fucking punching people through the fucking wall. She's a woman. Alright? She may be strong, she may be tough, whatever. She used technique and finesse to defeat the enemy in this, like, cutscene fight. It wasn't she fucking just stood up and beat the shit out of him. She actually stood up and talked some shit like, I don't even remember what she said. It was like fucking, I'll fuck you up or something. Basically, it was like, I don't have time for this shit, or basically is what happened. And she got into a scuffle with this guy, and she used technique to get the advantage on him and then stabbed him in the chest with a knife. So it was pretty interesting. They didn't have her fucking punching the shit out of people. She was when you play the game, they want you to use stealth mechanics and how do I describe this? Non-fucking confrontational fights. They want you to move around. Even though this kind of ties into the gameplay, we'll come back to it in a minute, but the story was great. 7.5. Solid. Not nothing that's gonna blow your socks off, but a solid. I leaned back watching some of these action set pieces and just thinking, this would have made a hell of a movie. This is not a bad story. It would have made a good blockbuster, I'll tell you that. So anyways, let's move on to the gameplay since we were already there. Let's touch on, back to where she got into this fight, this little scuffle with this guy. I give that gameplay a 7.5 as well. I would give it an 8, but I'll tell you why I didn't give it an 8 in a minute. Like I said, she got into a scuffle. She fucking used her technique to defeat the enemy. And even when you're like getting into gunfights and shit, they design the game where they want you to slip through bushes. They want you to put mud on your face to camouflage yourself and sneak up behind them. You know, I was just such a veteran gamer. I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I just pulled out the pistol and started just popping heads because I'm playing on PC, so we're playing with a mouse and keyboard. I can just take heads off, rip heads off easy. I've also been playing a lot of Counter-Strike recently, so I mean, I got into one gunfight and I was just like, Jesus, I was using her pistol like it was a USP. On the CT side, I was just fucking cleaning them up, knocking helmets off. So yeah, the gameplay is really good. It's really good. It's not what it could be, but it's good. The only thing I have a problem with the gameplay on is I wish they would have came up with new animations, because it's literally the same exact animation from the first two games. Like in the graphics, they definitely upgraded the graphics, but it's the same exact climbing mechanics, and they just don't. They need some new mechanics. I mean, they have the climbing up the tree, stuff like that, but I'm talking about, you know, it's the same animations. When you roll, when you jump, it's the same exact thing. I understand that, you know, when you're making a game and you have a certain amount of time to make a game, it was a quick turnaround. It was like 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 years to turn around and make Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You know, you know, when you think about what they could have done with an extra year, they could have probably changed the mechanics and all that stuff, and made it a little bit better. I just didn't like the mechanics as far as, like, I'm sick of seeing them. Like, it's the same fucking mechanics. I just don't want to see them no more. So, I want them to, next Tomb Raider, they need some new fucking roll animations. They need new jumping animations. They need all that. Climbing animations, all that needs to be overhauled in the next Tomb Raider. The sound, I give an 8. And the reason why is because on PC, sometimes the sound would be wonky and it's kind of buggy. Like when you go into certain areas, all of a sudden the sound would go and stutter or something, like it make a noise. It's just, that shit frustrates me when the sound fucks up. There really ain't much to talk about as far as the sound goes. The guns sound pretty good. The shotgun sounds pretty good. The water sounds pretty good. All that sounds pretty good. It's just the cutting out, the constant cutting out every now and again when you're going to like a area where some action is about to pop off. That gets frustrating. So let's move on to the visuals. The graphics, I would give also an 8. Could have been better, but it's not bad. It looks very nice, very good. When you're playing on ultra settings on a PC, it looks very nice. What's funny is ultra settings. This game on ultra settings on PC does not look better than Red Dead Redemption on my standard PS4 console. So it's all about the engine, and it's all about the developer on how, you know, how good your game looks. It doesn't matter what kind of fucking super duper PC you got. I can play this game at 4K and it still wouldn't look better than 1080p, 27 frames a second, Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4. So on the basic PS4. So it looks nice. It looks nice. When you put your mud on your face, it looks pretty cool. Sometimes, like, I feel like if you press the roll button and then you roll through mud or something like that, mud should get attached to your body. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, blood sometimes gets onto your clothes or something like that. Like, it's just, it's not consistent as it was, you know, when you look at Uncharted 4, which kind of has the same, not story, but like the same environment. Even that on PS4 blows this out of the water. So I wasn't really impressed with the graphics. I mean, they were solid. They were nice. They did what they needed to do. It wasn't gonna blow your socks off, but it was a solid visual experience. So I think we covered everything. We covered story, graphics, and visuals. gameplay, mechanics, as well as the audio sound. Overall, I'd give this game a 7.5. It was definitely better than the last game I played, which was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That game was pure trash. Because it doesn't matter how big you make the world. You can make the world big as fuck. But if there's no content in it to keep you entertained, you're just fucking... It's a walking simulator from one quest to the other. It takes fucking mad long to get across the map. And there's no fucking content. You know, when you look at that game, and you look at... I don't want to turn this review into a rant about that game. But if you look at that game, that map is big as fuck. It's the size of Grand Theft Auto 5. And there's no... It's just mountains, a bunch of sea, fucking islands, nothing much to see. Bars. But, like, there's nothing there. It's just unentertaining trash. This game, linear game, the game, it sometimes opens up in areas where you can... It's kind of semi-open world. Not really. Not really. But you can go explore tombs and crypts and different hunting grounds, just all kinds of different little things you can do, little side quests you can do in these little areas like Paititi and the other place. I can't remember what it's called. So, you know, the game's much smaller when it comes to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but there's more content in the game. There's more things to do, and you're not just wandering around forever and ever and ever like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, I rate this game higher than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't remember what I gave it. I don't even think I gave it a... I think I gave it a 5. Like, that shit was ass. This game, 7.5 is solid. Solid game. Could have been better. That I had another year of development. Who knows what they could have done. With that being said, hopefully you enjoy the review. Hit the like button, the subscribe button. Tell me what you think about this game in the comment section. Twitter.com/FileRico, YouTube.com/FileRico, and I'm out of this bitch. Peace.